Hello, Aries. Welcome to your March 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Aries. And while I'm pulling these cards, go ahead and set your intention for the reading today. I'm doing like a spring abundance and growth theme, so I hope you guys enjoy it. And let's see what's coming up for you today, or this month rather. And I know that there were a ton of people that really enjoyed when I speed up the shuffling, so I'm going to be doing that again today, and then we're going to dive right in. All right, let's go ahead and start with the truth bomb for you this month. Want what feels good to want. So focusing on feeling, this is not surprising to me at all. I think that Pisces season is really pushing a lot of signs into focusing on emotional growth and feeling. So getting back in touch with the body rather than mind or thoughts. So when we're shifting out of Aquarius season and moving more into Pisces, that's kind of the collective experience that's being had. So I'm not surprised seeing this come up. And it's reminding you to focus on what feels good to pursue. So focus more on the journey rather than the outcome. And that's where you're going to find your sweet spot. Then we also have surrender. So turning things over, especially if you don't have control over something, just kind of letting things be the way they need to be and let things unfold the way they need to unfold. So pulling your energy away from being overly masculine, because it's easy when you have a lot of Aries energy or a significant Aries placement to step into more of the yang, I'm gonna pursue, I'm gonna hunt, I'm gonna, attack this thing. And it looks like that isn't exactly a good approach for you this month. So I would say, surrendering, letting things go and letting things unfold is gonna serve you a lot better. The animal for you in March is elk. So pace yourself. This is also about taking consistent action rather than just using that, because you guys are cardinal signs. So initiation is really strong, but when it comes to endurance, that is something that really needs to be focused on. I would say the elk is more of that fixed energy rather than cardinal. So I would say the more you can kind of embody consistent action and just do things that are really in alignment with you when it comes to what you're doing on a consistent basis, that's going to be the best thing for you to do. And then the word of the month is surrender. Again, you have it twice. Let go of changing things outside of your control. Don't let the drive of your ego get in the way of true peace, and release the need to win. So that's going to be big for you this month. Surrender, considering it's already come up twice, you're gonna have to loosen your grip big time. Okay, now the central energy for you this month is the Knight of Swords. Doing things your own way is important from what I'm reading here. Let me see what the crossing energy is. We have the Eight of Pentacles. It's gonna take work. I think this in part has to do with getting in touch with what feels good to pursue, what feels good to want, what feels good to put work into. Sometimes if you become too locked in on a specific outcome that you're looking for, it kind of smothers it, and it moves you away from being able to identify what feels good and what is probably best for you to move away from. So it's the fastest way to get in touch with what's right and best for you. Really listen to your own intuitive hits, to your own downloads, to areas where you might need to slow down. Are you overworking? Are you over investing? Are you trying too hard? That's what the Eight of Pentacles is showing. This isn't like do more work. It's actually you need to chill out on force. So Less forcing, more allowing. What you have shifting out this month is the Two of Wands. Let me check the oncoming energy first to see what exactly is happening here. We have the Hierophant, so this is structure. So you have structure coming in, and I think this is self-implemented, so it doesn't seem to be something else adding structure for you. This has more to do with your own conscious decision to do that. And it looks like this is where you were probably setting something up or planting seeds or holding space for something to come in. But I think that organization and structure is what was missing in order for you to actualize that. And it could be boundaries with self, boundaries in circumstances and situations, just boundaries all around, or maybe putting a cap on what it is that you're trying to do can also be helpful. Like, you're in charge of what you're what type of fence you're putting around the things you're creating. So I'm just getting that it would be wise for you to do that and be proactive with it. Because I think you were just kind of open to anything. There's like a potential overload, like, hey, I'm open to whatever. And now you're getting into something that's more defined without, pursuing something so heavily that you actually repel it. And that's what the Hierophant is helping you to do. It's like, okay, you want this thing, you're going to have to find a way to really work with the energy that you have, apply yourself in the right ways, making decisions that are moving you forward in the best possible way. And that's really going to be how you actualize your dreams. But it looks like you're taking some time to figure it out and shift your approach. So for you, more than anything else, focus on feeling in order to help guide you and figure out what boundaries you need to implement in order to get that manifestation. Now, the external influences for you, we have the Page of Cups. So this is all about taking like a novice approach. Pretend that you don't know anything. Like, that is honestly what can put you in the best position. If you walk into a situation assuming that you know everything, you're not opening yourself up to additional information that you might need moving forward. So the Page of Cups is just showing you that when you do take that novice approach, when you do take that attitude of, I'm just going to experiment, I'm going to try this even if I don't know how it works out, that's what your environment is begging you to do. So it's of course, this is just energy that you can work with. Of course, it's up to you, whatever it is you decide to do with this or not do with it. But it looks like when I'm seeing this, it's just really important for you to focus on the attitude that you have as you go in. Remember, set aside ego and assume that there's something that you probably don't know that you have the opportunity to learn. And that's going to help you feel into what your next steps are. But you have to be open to new information wherever it wants to come from the outside. Now, the advice for your manifestations, so whether that be money, a house, a new job, a love interest, whatever, this is advice for how to make that happen faster. 8 of Swords, so it's kind of like you can't map everything out. You can focus on the what, but you can't focus on the how. That's not going to work. And so it's kind of like you want healthy constraints, you want healthy boundaries around what's happening without trying to fixate on that, well, this is, if it doesn't go exactly this way, then I don't want it at all. So it's kind of like you might be stuck in between being too flexible and being too rigid. So whichever side of that you're on, you want to come into a happy middle ground where you're open to discovering and seeing new things without locking yourself into a total box. So I think you're going to find a way to work with the energy that you have and create useful boundaries in order to get the best possible outcome for yourself. Then I'm going to clarify the 8 of Swords to get a little bit more info. We have the 5 of Cups. Watch yourself with those negative expectations. The Eight of Swords is all about not knowing what happens, as well as boundaries. So if you're holding yourself back out of fear, or if you're holding yourself back out of, well, it's probably not going to go this way, so I'm not even going to make the attempt, that's the error in the manifestation. You have to make the attempt anyway. You have to try anyway without having a negative expectation, because it's like, sure, you could be right, but what if you're wrong? And you want to lean into, but what if I'm wrong, more than anything else. So what is growing for you this month? King of Cups, emotional awareness, healthy emotional affect. This is acute awareness over your emotions and your emotional process. So this does look really good. This is also like a mastery over emotions. So I think that this whole season and this whole month is really bringing that clarity into your space, where the mechanics that you were running before are starting to evolve. We're always in that process, but particularly when it comes to the way you work, how you're approaching things, how much effort you're giving to things. So this is emotional awareness around your energetic investments, and this is going to help you identify what feels good and what is it that feels good to pursue as far as where you're putting your energy, because not everything is created equal. What is abundant for you this month? So we have unlimited access to, we have the Five of Cups. So this month is going to bring you a lot of things where it's kind of like you're going to have to look at a different angle, because what you have here is like, if you're zoomed in to the cups that are spilled, then all you're going to see is doom and gloom. You have to shift your focus onto what is still standing. The Five of Cups always reminds us that it's where we're orienting and where we're fixing our sights that is going to dictate what it is that we see and how we perceive the world. And I think there's an abundance of opportunities for you to shift focus and start looking at things that are going really well. And that's going to help give you new data, because the number one issue that I see is that people are not looking for things. They're not looking for hope. They're not looking for it. And the only reason why you would be able to keep your spirits really high is you have to go and seek those things out. So don't expect it to just fall into your lap. You're going to be setting yourself up for failure if you do that. You want to look at it as, I need to keep my eyes peeled for what's going well and what's going right. I'm going to clarify the Five of Cups. We have the Ten of Pentacles. So this is a foundational concept. This is something that is really going to provide a lot of stability, and you're going to have plenty of opportunities to say, oh, wait a second, I was going to go down this rabbit hole of 20 things that have gone wrong today, but you want to count the 5 that are going right, because it's going to expand really fast. And that's what the Ten of Pentacles is showing you, is that when you start looking, when you're intentionally looking at things that are going well, it starts to expand and it starts to grow, and you're able to hook into it faster. So I would say the best thing for you to do to align with more abundance this month is do a gratitude list. Try to commit to that for like the entire month of March and see how it goes, or even just a week, see what happens. Like, it doesn't need to be anything snazzy. Just wake up and list 10 things that you're grateful for and why. And that would be an awesome practice for you to have this month. Now, if you're new to my channel, first of all, hello and thank you for subscribing. And second of all, we're going to get into the timeline version, or not version, but the timeline portion of this reading. So it's about a week, but time is fluid. So it's first quarter, second, third, and fourth quarter. That'll be where you end the month of March. So let's start with the beginning of the month. We have strength, personal power, autonomy, free will, being able to do things that you need to get done. You kind of start March off with a bang, really focusing on where you're going and how you're going to get there. So it's all about vision at the beginning of the month. the second quarter, we have the hanged, well, this is the hanged unicorn. Habits, consistency, that it's, remember with the elk card, it's like this is an endurance race, not a sprint. And so that's where, you know, having the strength card come up first is really useful, because it's that initial pop of energy, and then being able to sustain it is what this is what helps you feel into habits that you have, or habits that you've already implemented. So remember, what you're doing consistently has a compound effect, and I would just recommend that you look at everything that you're doing this month as contributing to a compound effect. And it's not like if you have one bad day that you're going to derail. Remember, it's consistent effort and consistent energy being poured into a specific thing is what results in the manifestation of said thing. So just consistency is your best friend this month. Quarter 3, we have the Empress, divine femininity. This is what I was speaking to earlier, where you want to step away from this idea of like force. Force is not going to work for you this month. It's about creating healthy boundaries for yourself energetically, figuring out where you're overworking yourself and expelling too much energy in ways that are not contributing to your overall benefit. And the Empress is reminding you to call things in. So encourage them, invite them into your space. It's all about your energetic makeup is what makes you a magnet for the things you're looking to manifest. And the Empress is saying you need to embody that. And that is the feminine approach. Masculine is push out, feminine is call in, and we all need to work both of those muscles in some way, shape, or form. So this is calling for you to focus more on looking at information as if you've never seen it before, kind of taking that newcomer mindset, that novice mindset is going to be really helpful. And the Empress is just saying, you know, sit within yourself, tune up yourself first, and that's what's going to help you attract the things you need. Fourth quarter, wrapping up the end of the month, we have the Six of Swords. So see, you're moving forward in some direction that is ideal for you. So remember, whatever you're moving into or moving away from at the end of March is for your benefit. Even if you cannot see exactly how things are panned out, because the Six of Swords doesn't show that you're at dry land yet, you can trust that it's still working out in your favor, even if you can't literally see it. Now we're going to do a 3-card pick. So go ahead and notice which card is calling to you, or if you have a question that you want to ask, whatever feels good for you. Card number 1, we have the World. So cycles being wrapped up, clearing up patterns. This is also a big resolution and healing card. If you've been waiting for something to come full circle, that could easily happen this month, or this is inviting you to explore habits again. Like what I was saying with the Hanged Man, you know, go back to the drawing board. What are you doing consistently? Where are you putting your energy? What are you doing with all of that you have? And that's going to show you what cycles are spinning. And it could also be just the exploration of your patterns and of your cycles. So get curious with your habits if you're not really tuned into that right now. Card number 2, we have the 8 of Cups. It's time for a change in perspective. You're going to need to look at things a different way. This is almost like rebirth for your mindset. Like, okay, this is how I was looking at it. This is how I'm shifting my perspective. And that's what's going to open up new doors. So it's about your mindset under construction. This is also like the way you're looking at it might not be totally accurate. And I would recommend that you pay attention to where wherever you might have some blocks or some old wounds or whatever that's getting in your way, that's tweaking that lens and putting you in a position where you're looking at what's going wrong, that or what might go wrong, and looking at those potential threats only. That's what needs to be cleared up here when I'm reading this. And then third quarter, we have the moon. So the moon, intuition, insight, downloads, all the information that's coming in. You're probably going to feel like you're floating in outer space a little bit. You probably don't have enough information to make a decision about if you've asked about something specific, or this is telling you you kind of need to not know in order to figure out what you do know. And that's what the moon is here to teach us. It's about the lack in order to feel into the abundance, or the unknown and to feel what is known or what is true. So the moon is a good contrast card. It's showing that absence so that you can feel into either what you're trying to cultivate more of, what you're putting your energy into more. And ultimately, this is helping to steer you in the right direction. It's just that when you're in the middle of dealing with a moon situation, it feels really nebulous. So don't let that discourage you. Just know that it shifts and it passes and it changes. All right, my friends, that is all that I have for you today. I certainly hope you've enjoyed this reading as much as I've enjoyed reading for you. And do not forget, if you do not follow me on Instagram, I've been having a blast on there. It's just at Onyx Healing. So go follow me on there. It's just been a lot of fun getting to know all of you. And if you want to work with me, go to onyxhealing.com, or you can hang out in the description box and check out all the links that I have there. Don't forget, I do monthly love and relationship readings for those of you who are in partnership or looking for partnership. And that is on my Patreon, so you can check all of those out, or the weekly readings. The small tier is only $2 a month. So lots of good stuff in there. And until next time, have a beautiful March, everybody, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.